Welcome to the Rise and Grind workshop. If you're new here, my name is Ryan, and today I'm going to take you through the entire process of how to get your AEON Smart Rotary installed, set up, and engrave your first project on an AEON Mira line of CO2 laser engravers. I know when it comes to using a rotary attachment or engraving tumblers, there's a lot of you out there that really want to do it, but you feel very intimidated. Well, today I'm going to help ease that anxiety a little bit and truly show you how easy and simple this process is. Let's jump right into it. This right here is what is commonly referred to as a rotary attachment, and to be even more specific, this is called the AEON Smart Rotary Attachment. You've probably also seen something else like this floating around, and this is a third-party rotary attachment, and this is manufactured by a company called Lens Digital, and this is a pie-burn rotary attachment, and these are much more complicated to use, and a little bit later in the video I'm going to show you why. Go ahead and make sure your AEON Mira is powered up. This process should be the same for the Mira 5, 7, and 9. Go ahead and hit the ZU icon, and then you're going to go ahead and press the arrow key to the right, and that's going to lower the bed down. Keep jogging that honeycomb bed down. You're looking to expose this port or plug right here that says rotary. Once you have enough room, go ahead and stop. So for today's project, we're going to take a very basic water bottle. This is a Stitch water bottle, and this one happens to be a 19-ounce version. I'm going to go ahead and remove the lid right off that before I forget. Now you may notice I did leave my honeycomb bed in the laser engraver. Depending on the diameter or circumference of the project you're working on, you may need to remove that honeycomb bed and set that smart rotary attachment on those knife blades below the honeycomb bed. You'll notice 4 roller wheels on the smart rotary attachment. These are held in place with 4 Allen head set screws. Go ahead and loosen those up really quick. And just in case you didn't see it, there are 2 set screws per wheel. Make sure you loosen each one of those up. With all your set screws loose, this is going to now allow you to adjust these rollers. For this video, we picked a very simple 19-ounce water bottle with no tapers on it. Now, when I first started using this rotary attachment, trust me, I looked like a deer in the headlights as well. You are not alone. So let's go ahead and go over this really quick. This is a 19-ounce tumbler or water bottle, whatever you want to call it. And obviously there's no taper. This is a nice flat design. This makes a very easy project and perfect for this video. I'm going to drop a diagram on the screen right here. You might want to screenshot that. That diagram is designed to be used only with this smart rotary attachment. Typically with a third-party rotary attachment, you're going to be manually inputting some numbers. The really neat thing about the AEON Smart Rotary Attachment, and I'm going to show you this later in the video, you're going to have a thumb drive that came with your AEON laser, and that's going to have some files already loaded and pre-programmed that work with this smart rotary. We are literally just going to plug this smart rotary into the Mira 9, go over some basic settings, load our file in, and the smart rotary will take care of the rest. Now for this project, if you looked at that diagram, the 4 roller setup is going to be best for our application. Now another thing to keep in mind that I will cover when I set this inside of the machine, you're going to want to keep the motor and the plug towards the controller and the plug side of the machine, and you're going to want to have the opening of your tumbler or water bottle facing the opposite direction. Let's go ahead and get this placed in the laser. For rotary or tumbler work, we will be working in the center of the laser engraver. Just to make setup easier, I'm going to go ahead and jog my laser head out into position closely to where I need it. Once we plug this rotary attachment in, you're going to lose the up and down arrow controls. That's why it helps just getting it in the center to start with. So once again, pay attention when setting this into your laser engraver. You don't want to hit the autofocus tab or any of your laser head or nozzle within here. I touched on this earlier. You want to make sure the motor is facing towards the controller and the plug. You also want to verify the surface you're setting this rotary attachment on is nice and clean and there's not some small debris in your way. Now go ahead and locate the port that says rotary. This is a 6-pin attachment. The AEON Smart Rotary does come equipped with a 6-pin. If you want to use a third-party rotary attachment, you will need to get an adapter. For example, if the pie burn has a 4-pin, you would need a 4-pin to a 6-pin adapter. Once the pin is oriented correctly, it'll slide into place. Go ahead and slide the collar up over those threads and just give it a nice tight snug fit. Now your rotary attachment is plugged into your Mira laser engraver. Go ahead and place your tumbler inside of the laser engraver, adjust those wheels accordingly, and remember, each one of those has 2 set screws. Go ahead and snug those up. Again, don't go all Hercules on those and try to tighten them up and mar those rods. Next up, you're going to locate your focus gauge. That's this clear piece of acrylic with these numbers, and you're also going to find the factory USB that was provided with your laser. Go ahead and locate your thumb drive, locate the folder called Settings. Next, you'll locate the folder called Rotary Settings. Earlier in the video, we determined that 4 wheels was the setup we're going to use, so we're looking for the Mira 9 Smart Rotary 4-wheel. Double click on that file. You will notice it says Controller Settings Changed. Go ahead and hit Right. You should see Controller Settings written successfully. Now, prior to moving on, go ahead and click Read. Now I want you to scroll down to the column that says Enable Rotary. You will notice this is green and says True. Now go ahead and click OK. Now, just for clarification, every single time you would like to set up and use a rotary attachment on your Mira CO2 laser engraver, that is the process you'll have to go through to set up the rotary attachment. Again, another pro tip, as I see lots of issues right here. Once you have your rotary settings installed, your Y-axis, which is your up and down arrows on the control panel, will no longer give you full range. You're going to be moving that by hand, so don't freak out and try to avoid using those. You will only be wanting to adjust your X-axis with the left and right arrows. Now, one thing I will point out, the Mira line of laser engravers do have the red dot pointer. You do want to make sure that this rotary attachment is parallel to the gantry. One quick and dirty way to do that, I just threw a 90 right down here on my honeycomb bed and flushed that up, and I ran that 90 straight up along that edge. That's going to work perfect for a simple project like this. However, I would recommend, if you're trying to do full wrap tumblers or something very intricate, you're going to want to use that red dot laser pointer and run that along the edge of your rotary engraver to make sure you have that trammed and parallel. And yes, the Mira line of CO2 laser engravers do come from the factory with an autofocus gauge. You are more than welcome to use the autofocus. I believe that is set at about 8.5 millimeters from the factory. Once we dive into tumblers, without diving too deep into the details and causing a big argument in the comment section, for this project, we're going to use the manual focus gauge that you see right here. This is the clear piece of acrylic that comes with your AEON Mira laser engraver, and we're going to manually focus this down to 10.5 millimeters for this project. So if this is your first time doing this, don't feel overwhelmed or intimidated. Here's a couple pro tips for you. Go ahead and take that thumb drive and take all those settings off of that thumb drive and create a folder on your desktop or your laptop. That way you can easily access the files you use all the time. And trust me, the more you do this, this will become very easy and second nature. Let's quickly cover settings. This is a Mira 9, which is a 90-watt CO2 laser tube. The documentation for the Mira 70, which is a 60-watt laser tube, gives a speed of 400 and a max power of 45%. We throttled that down to 35%. We have our air assist off. And for our line interval, we're doing 0.064, which equals 396 LPI. And depending on the job or the look you're trying to achieve, you may adjust some of these different settings. However, we're working from the current position, and that is our job origin. And I have cut selected graphics on and optimize cut path. We're now going to get ready to frame this and make sure that this is going to laser engrave where we want it. All you're going to do is place the focal gauge where the 10.5 millimeter step is, right below the nozzle of your laser engraver. On the control panel, you're going to hit ZU, and then you're going to use your left and right arrows to control that bed. We're going to slowly move this up to the bottom of that nozzle, one click at a time, until we get to our desired 10.5 millimeters. Now go ahead and remove that, and you are in focus at 10.5 millimeters above your work material. We currently have this centered on our work material. We have it in focus. We have the correct rotary settings, and we have the correct speed and power. Now all we have to do is frame this up really quick to make sure everything is operating the way we want it. Let's go ahead and do that right now. and it is now giving us an outline of where that's going to laser engrave. And congratulations, if you've done everything correctly, that should have framed exactly where you want your artwork to laser engrave. So again, full disclaimer, I am not a tumbler expert, and this is probably maybe only the 5th one I've ever done. I just hate when I see people online struggling, and they're really only struggling with the setup and the removal process. Let's go ahead and throw some power to this thing and see how it turns out. So at the end of the day, all you're really looking to do is etch through that paint and have a nice clean surface material beneath that, and you'll want to play around with your LPI or your DPI. Every image and every design is going to vary a little bit, but you're typically going to see anywhere from 250 all the way up to 400 DPI. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm dying to pull this out of here, clean it up, and take a look at it. But while I'm talking about cleaning, let's cover a couple things really quick. A CO2 laser engraver will not etch into or eat any type of metal up. Most of these tumblers are some type of a stainless steel. All you are trying to do is burn off of that top coating, which is either going to be some type of anodizing or powder coating. Every color will require some setting changes. You're going to have to experiment with that. That's what material test cards are for. Now let's go ahead and get this thing pulled out here, and I will show you how we clean all of our products here at the Rise and Grind workshop. All right, exciting. So this here is an anodized tumbler, and that is most likely what yours will look like. So all we're gonna do is take this over to the cleaning station and clean it up. Here at the Rise and Grind workshop, we treat this stuff like Frank's Red Hot sauce. We put this on everything. This is LA's totally awesome cleaner. Go ahead and give that laser engraving a good saturation. A lot of people will use a microfiber. Here at the Rise and Grind workshop, we're cheap, and I've just got some old bed sheets cut up. Go ahead and give that a good scrubbing. Go ahead and go around the entire bottle. That is awesome. Now I know you're dying for me to jump right into a close-up and show you how this turned out, but trust me, this is the part where you're going to make a mistake and potentially damage your machine. So I want to show you how to remove the rotary access so you don't find yourself in that position. This is extremely important. Once you are finished using your rotary attachment, go back inside of Lightburn, go back into your device settings. You are going to load from file once again. This time around, you're going to look for this file right here called Flat Settings. Double click on the Flat Settings. Once again, you're going to click Right, and you want to make sure it says Controller Settings Written Successfully. Go ahead and hit Read again. You're going to scroll down again. Now notice the Enable Rotary is red and says false. Go ahead and hit OK. That is the proper sequence to reinstall your flat pack settings. Now this is very important. Do not make this mistake. We've all seen the post online, help, I turned my Mira on, it's trying to home, and it's making this awful grinding sound. Here's how you're going to avoid that. Now that we have our flat pack settings flashed back to the controller, go ahead and remove the rotary from the laser engraver. I personally like to physically remove the rotary so I don't have any crashes. Verify there's nothing else left inside the laser engraver. Now here's where everybody messes up. Do not forget to come over to your controller and locate the button right here that says reset. Press reset. Now you will notice after I've pressed the reset button, the machine is slowly homing to the home position or 0, 0. That is how you avoid that crash and nasty grinding sound. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm very pleased with how that turned out, and I truly hope you guys gained some value out of this video and I ease those fears. As you can see, AEON has done a fantastic job with that smart rotary. Now earlier in the video, I did mention that a third-party aftermarket rotary attachment would be much more difficult to use. You might have noticed earlier in the video, all I had to do was set my starting position or origin, choose my layers, adjust my speed and power. If you're using a third-party rotary attachment, it is not a smart rotary attachment. the key benefit of that smart rotary, the files that you loaded in are already pre-programmed, so you don't have to do any of that additional math or figuring out the circumference or diameter of your tumbler. Now, even with that being said, once you grasp this concept and get a basic idea, these are very simple to do, and using an aftermarket rotary attachment is going to open up a lot more features and advanced techniques. However, if you're just doing a few tumblers here and there and you don't want to deal with the expense or the hassle of a third-party rotary engraver, I would highly recommend you take a quick look at the smart line of rotary engravers from AEON. Now, if you're new to the channel and you gained any value, I would highly encourage you to take a look at the link in the description below. There's multiple ways you can help support this channel for free. And if you're really interested in learning more about the line of AEON laser engravers, you could always send us a direct email. We are an official partner with AEON. And if you guys mention the Rise and Grind workshop when you reach out to them, that does help our channel and allow us to keep creating amazing content like this for you guys. I would also highly encourage you to drop a comment down below. This year for 2025, I'm going to focus on value. So the more I know what type of video content you guys would like me to produce, I want to make this content for you guys, not for myself. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video.